Hello everyone, you're watching News Mongolia on MNB World. It's Friday, June 16th. I'm Batsir Namshir. Our top stories for News Mongolia. Ulaanbaatar Dialogue 2023 was successfully organized. Eurochamber Mongolia organizes TVET Education, addressing skilled labor shortages in the mining sector. International Forum on Sustainable Building ERA is organized for the first time in Mongolia. For the news, stay tuned. The 8th edition of the Ulaanbaatar Dialogue on Northeast Asian Security took place on June 15th and 16th, 2023 at the Consensus Hall in the Ministry of Foreign Affairs of Mongolia. The conference brought together regional experts, policymakers, and academics to discuss pressing security challenges, multilateral cooperation, peace building, and economic collaboration in the region.
The opening session, chaired by Mantra Batsurun, Director General of the Department of Multilateral Cooperation at the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, featured key speeches by Minister of Foreign Affairs of Mongolia Patstsak, Director of the Institute for Strategic Studies of Mongolia Davat Dorchbekt, and a special video message by Rosemary DiCarlo, the United Nations Under Secretary General for Political and Peacebuilding Affairs. Additionally, the conference received an esteemed visitor, Izuma Nakamitsu, the United Nations Under Secretary General and High Representative for Disarmament Affairs, who embarked on an official visit to Mongolia to participate in the Ulaanbaatar Dialogue. During her first official visit to Mongolia, Izumi Nakamitsu will play a significant role in promoting and strengthening international peace, security, and Mongolia's nuclear weapon-free status.
No, thank you very much. It's, the world is actually flooded with a lot of challenges, but at the global level, we are definitely concerned about heightened tension between major military powers. And in fact, all nuclear weapon states are modernizing their arsenals, in some cases increasing their arsenals. So we are almost on the verge of an arms race. And so, there is a big global level concerns when it comes to all disarmament related issues. Now, of course, for us, the key is to make sure that the norm of not using nuclear weapons is definitely upheld, maintained. I think Mongolia, as one country that has declared to be nuclear weapon-free status, it has such a strong political significance in organizing this kind of a platform where a few of nuclear possessor states actually are relevant in the regional security. I mean, of course, in the immediate sense, the DPRK's nuclear ambitions quite a concern. Repeated missile launches is another big concern for all of us. But beyond that, I think all countries in the region and also other states that have a stake in the region should use this kind of a platform to re-engage in dialogue. There is no solution other than dialogue and diplomacy when it comes to security.
The Ulaanbaatar Dialogue underscores the importance of Mongolia's commitment to disarmament efforts and its active role in promoting regional security. United Nations Under Secretary General's visit not only strengthens the partnership between Mongolia and the United Nations, but also highlights Mongolia's contributions to global disarmament initiatives and its ongoing efforts to maintain a nuclear weapon-free status.
I cited President Kennedy in my speech. Some people say that when the security situation is worsening, getting worse, it's not the time to think about disarmament. But history shows that that is not the case. In 1962, Cuban Missile Crisis, that was the closest point where the world went almost to nuclear war. And with that experience, both at the time, of course, the Soviet Union and the United States, they felt this is too risky. And the way to actually achieve the stability and peace and security is through dialogue and disarmament, arms control efforts. So the history shows that when things are so dangerous, fragile and volatile, that's exactly the time when we need to re-engage in discussions and negotiations and find a way through disarmament and arms control to stabilize the situation and then seek greater security and more safer arrangements. So now is the time, we believe, that we need to bring back those countries together to rethink. So disarmament really should be a very important instrument for that. So I thought that this UB dialogue is a very, very important, very useful platform to send that message and appeal to those countries in the region, first and foremost, and others to remember and think about utility, the usefulness of disarmament measures.
The first session of the Ulaanbaatar Dialogue, moderated by Minde Jargasakhan, Deputy Director of the Institute for Strategic Studies of Mongolia, addressed security challenges and opportunities in the region. Experts from various countries, including Japan, China, South Korea, and Russia, shared their insights on the implications of geopolitical competition and uncertainties on the Korean Peninsula. Their discussions provided a comprehensive understanding of the short, medium, and long-term security implications in the region. Also, a closed-door roundtable meeting on multilateral cooperation in Northeast Asia was held, inviting experts to share perspectives on confidence-building measures and explore practical steps for sustainable cooperation. The third session, Future Peace in Northeast Asia, jointly organized with the United Nations Department of Political and Peacebuilding Affairs, provided a platform for youth representatives to voice their views and recommendations on regional peace and security. Moderated by Sonia Bachmann, team leader at the United Nations Department of Political Affairs, young peacebuilders, including representatives from Mongolia, engaged in meaningful discussions on bridging generational gaps and promoting common narratives. On the second day, Session 4 delved into post-COVID economic cooperation in the region. Experts discussed the impact of the pandemic on trade, investments, and financial markets. They explored collaborative measures to stabilize the regional economy, improve connectivity, and prepare for future crises. The conference concluded with a closing session where moderators summarized the key discussions and highlighted the importance of continued dialogue and collaboration. Akhbayar Nyamdorj, State Secretary of the Ministry of Foreign Affairs of Mongolia, delivered his closing remarks, underscoring the significance of the Ulaanbaatar Dialogue in promoting regional cooperation and addressing shared challenges. The Ulaanbaatar Dialogue 2023 not only provided a platform for constructive exchanges, but also strengthened bilateral ties between Mongolia and the United Nations, thanks to the official visit of Izumi Nakamitsu, the United Nations Under-Secretary General and High Representative for Disarmament Affairs. The conference highlighted the commitment of regional stakeholders to foster security, peace, and economic collaboration in Northeast Asia, paving the way for a prosperous and interconnected future.
Eurochamber Mongolia, in collaboration with the Transwest Mongolia LSC and the German Mongolian Business Association, successfully organized a pivotal event titled TVET Education, addressing skilled labor shortages in the mining sector. The event brought together industry leaders, government officials, and representatives from educational institutions to address the challenges faced by Mongolia's mining sector in terms of skilled labor shortages.
Held on June 15th at the Shangri-La Hotel in Ulaanbaatar, the event focused on exploring viable solutions through vocational education and training centers. The gathering provided a platform for in-depth discussions regarding the pressing issue of skilled labor shortages in the mining sector. With Mongolia's mining industry playing a significant role in the country's economy, the shortage of skilled workers has emerged as a critical challenge, hindering growth and development in the sector. During the event, experts and stakeholders engaged in comprehensive discussions to identify the root causes of the skilled labor gap and explored practical strategies to address this issue. Recognizing the importance of vocational education and training, Participants discussed the potential of TVET programs in equipping the workforce with the necessary skills to meet the industry's demands.
Of course, mining in Mongolia is a dominant business sector here and still growing, and so that's very important to grow it, to keep it running. But also having in mind innovative technologies to do something, to also take care about the environmental situation, to have innovative solution. And again, for that you need skilled staff, human resources, and especially as Germans, we really put an effort in to train our people, to educate, especially in vocational education, and we believe that approach is also very helpful here in Mongolia. Actually, just 10 days ago, we had the German-Mongolian Economic Committee meeting. It was on 5th of June, it's a Monday, and that's actually where a German business delegation came to Mongolia, teamed up with German-Mongolian companies here, and speaking with representatives of Mongolian side in 3 areas. So 3 areas to focus on. One, of course, had been mining. The second one had been renewable energy. The third one had been education. There were also some remarks. I mean, the general topic is logistics, how to get products in and out. So also export from Mongolia to Europe. And those are the areas we are covering right now. The conclusions of this big event, we had more than 80 participants, company representatives both from Germany and Mongolia, went to the high-level working group with Mr. Ulaanbaatar, the Deputy Prime Minister of Mongolia and Minister for Economy and Development. And we had as a guest Dr. Brandner, who is the State Secretary in the German Ministry on for Economic Affairs and Climate Action.
Representatives from the mining sector shared their insights and experiences regarding the challenges they face due to the scarcity of skilled labor force. They emphasized the need for collaborative efforts between industry players, government entities, and educational institutions to develop comprehensive solutions.
Mongolia's new recovery policy focuses on propelling the construction industry into the global market by attracting foreign and domestic investments in major development institutions. To support this initiative, an international forum on the sustainable building era is taking place in Ulaanbaatar from June 14th to 17th. The forum aims to draw construction experts to Mongolia and enhance public-private partnerships within the country.
Within the framework of this event, approximately 200 construction industry experts, engineers, and contractors from 18 member countries of IFAPCA have gathered to exchange best practices with international experts on topics such as green construction, energy efficiency, renewable energy, financing, and earthquakes.
The International Federation of Asia and Western Pacific Contractors has been in existence for 65 years. And we started with a few member countries in the Asian region, and we have grown through the years, 18 to 19 member country associations, all over from the Western to Japan, Korea, the ASEAN countries. We have been representing the construction industry in the Asia and Western Pacific region.
We are conducting for the second IFAPCA midterm board meeting in Mongolia. 18 member countries are here to success this, to bond with each other and experience their good practices of their countries with all the member countries. And definitely after completion of this forum, we'll have more ideas about each countries who has succeeded promoting green and sustainable development.
During the conference, discussions also revolve around opportunities available for Mongolian construction companies to enter the international market.
The Mongolian National Construction Association joined IFAPCA as a member in 2015. The association is actively collaborating with developed countries within IFAPCA to drive the growth and progress of the construction industry in Mongolia. By learning from their expertise, best practices and advancements, the association aims to develop its own construction sector and ensure its continual development.
The 42nd Midterm Conference holds a unique distinction as the first event of its kind organized in Mongolia by the Mongolian National Construction Association.
Well, that's all for today. Thank you for staying with us. We'll see you next week with more news and updates. Have a nice weekend. Goodbye.